Hello, everyone. Welcome to the KJ Lee Experience. My name is KJ Lee, and I'll be your host. The goal of the show is to uncover the valuable life lessons taught throughout sports. We'll be introducing you to some of the highest performing professionals in the world today, and we'll have them share their unique experiences about how they use sports to see the bigger picture, and we'll explain how you can use sports to win in life. I hope you enjoy. Thank you guys for joining us on episode number 2 of the KJ Lee Experience. It is September the 26th. And we are blessed to have another special guest. This man has gone from playing professional basketball in the CBA to being cut by Phil Jackson to creating what may go down as the best basketball empire in the state of New York's history. I would like to introduce you guys to Torrel Harris.
How you doing, KJ?
Thank you for joining me today.
Oh, my pleasure.
So I'm going to get straight to it. You're an NBA agent, and this summer was really good to you. Your client signed a deal for 5 years worth $180 million. Congratulations on that, first of all.
Oh, thank you.
Second of all, what a lot of people forget is that the summer prior, you guys had a deal on the table worth $80 million, an extension from the Los Angeles Clippers. You guys decided to decline that. You bet on your client, and you guys hit the jackpot. Can you just talk about that process a little bit for me? Because it's not every day that people turn down $80 million.
Right. Well, first of all, I want to give all praise and glory to God because none of this will ever happen without the blessing of the Lord.
I agree.
And that's most important. Secondly, I've been doing this business for over 31 years, so I've been representing numerous of athletes over those years. So it was a lot of research that was done with Tobias. We felt like the reason we turned down $80 million, we looked at the guys who was going to be free agent in the following year, and we look at Tobias, his efficiency, his analytics. On the court, what he does on the court, scoring, him being the youngest of all free agencies, that he was one of the best players that would have been a free agent for that following year. So it was kind of like a no-brainer. It was like not even a long discussion. It was like to turn down the $80 million. And that $80 million in the CBA, that still was a max contract, at the most they could offer.
Yeah.
And if you wait a year later, the most they could offer was $189.
Okay.
So it's kind of like a no-brainer. And then it also was the blessing of the Lord that we kept our faith, and we said, you know what, we're just going to play the following year. He's going to be one of the best players in the National Basketball Association, and he put that work in it every summer, getting better, and he just went out there and had an unbelievable season, trusting in the faith of God.
And I remember when this happened, it was big news in the newspaper last summer. And I remember telling all my friends, I said the only thing that would stop him is an injury. But like you said, God blessed him, and he went out there and had the best season of his career so far.
Exactly.
I've always known you as an entrepreneur. I remember back in the day, I was playing with Terry on the Unique All-Stars. So you started this unique brand / company. You guys had a basketball team. You guys had a sports agency. You guys now host professional runs in the summertime. Where did this unique stem from?
Well, I honestly feel like we're all unique in life when we come, God, when he created you and he created me, he created us to be unique so we can accomplish anything we want in this world. And so that's where it starts from. And so we started my company. I had a company called Unique Sports Management where I represented George Durbin, Cliff Robertson, Gene Banks, Greg Foster, Lynette Woodard. And basically from that point on, I had a foundation. Our foundation was Unique All-Stars, which you were one of our players on our team. And we had over 60 of our kids that played with the Unique All-Stars get scholarship, and I'm so happy to see you today graduate from college. You played at Division I, and you excel, and so that makes me feel good that we help touch people's lives like yourself, and so then therefore that led into we also had a apparel line called Unique Sports Generation, where we were manufactured the National Basketball Association, National Football League, which was the first African American to be licensed for most teams in sports. And we sold warm-up suits, jackets. We sold reversible warm-up suits, and that was our entry level into the market. We had a reversible warm-up suits, what we call it, turn it out, inside out. And then we also, we represent players and So that's how the unique style concept came about, and we just continue following. That's how I raised my kids, and like, hey, you're unique, so you can achieve anything you want, and then that leads to why all 5 of them got Division I scholarship to major universities. So I just keep that philosophy going in life, basically.
And I remember when I was younger, you had us in some of the top tournaments in the country. You had us flying out to Florida, playing against top players in the country. Mm-hmm. Was it difficult to start your own brand and basically put us against these top teams?
Well, I had top players. You ain't no joke.
That's true.
So when you got good players, mm-hmm. Well, I always believe put the best players in the fire, because you're going to get better when you play against the best competition. Like I never believed that you should be playing against kids that we know we can beat by 20 or 30. That ain't going to help you, because when you go play against some really good players, I wanted you to be ready, because basically it's just preparation for when you go to college. That's why you had a good college career. Mm-hmm. So when you went to college, they brought all these tough kids, and you'd be like, come on, dude. I've been playing
against them.
I've been playing against the best players in the country, so it wasn't no big thing. So they had to worry about you. Yeah. Like, wow, damn, KJ is tough, man. How am I going to stop him? Gosh. So that's basically one of the reasons why, and that's why all our kids who play for us with the Unique All-Star, that's why they all had successful careers in college.
Mm-hmm. You prepared us.
Exactly.
So I recently read a book. It's titled Mastery. It's by Robert Greene. He wrote the book 48 Laws of Power. Mm-hmm. Have you heard of it?
Yes.
Okay, so he wrote this book called Mastery, and basically what he says is, in order for someone to have fulfillment, they need to find a career field that aligns with their passion. Mm-hmm. And in order to reach the top level of this career field, you have to go through different phases. So the first phase is called the apprentice phase. It's like an internship where you're soaking in knowledge from everywhere. Mm-hmm. Second phase is called the creative phase. So let's say I'm a comedian. This would be me going out and putting my first workout. This would be me going and performing in front of an audience of 10 people. Mm-hmm. And then you have the mastery phase. This is the top level. Once you reach this point, you're taking information from everywhere. So if I'm a comedian, I'm taking information from athletes, musicians, authors. I'm adding all that to my game. So there was a quote from this book that stuck with me. I just want to read it to you. It says, "Many of those who succeed in life have had the experience in their youth of having mastered some skill, a sport or game, a musical instrument, foreign language, and so on. Buried in their minds is the sensation of overcoming their frustrations and entering the cycle of accelerated returns. In moments of doubt in the present, the memory of the past experience rises to the surface. Filled with trust, in the process they trudge on well past the point in which others slow down or quit." My question to you is, let's look back to your youth. Is there something that you mastered, whether it's a game or a sport, that still sticks with you today, that when times get difficult, when you have doubt, it allows you to overcome these challenges?
Well, on that, I always trust God on anything that I do. Like I was a good basketball player. I was always a good communicator. I could talk to people. I was so, when you go through trials, tribulations in your life, I always put my trust in God and ask Him for what direction you want me to go. I wanted to play in the NBA just like everybody else, but I also had a plan A, I had a plan B, and I had a plan C. Mm-hmm. And my plan B was I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I didn't want to work for nobody. Mm-hmm. And so my fulfillment was I just felt like basketball was my passion, so I wanted to be around basketball, and I also wanted to be around clothing because I like clothing. And when I was a kid, I wanted to own my own clothing store. Okay. But what happens? The Lord took me in a different direction. Mm-hmm. He said, "I want you to manufacture clothes, not to one store, but to thousands of stores."
Okay.
So when you put your trust in the Lord, He opens up other doors and makes it bigger. And then I also doing my passion. I love basketball, so I didn't play in the NBA, but now I represent the NBA, and then wind up making manufacturing clothes for the NBA, putting the team logos on it. And on top of that, I put the team logos, manufacture stuff for the National Football League, and put team logos on there. So therefore, when you trust the Lord, when you ask Him for guidance and leadership, mm-hmm. He guides you and He opens those doors. But it all comes down to faith and belief. So that's my philosophy where I go by. Different people they write books, that's their experience, what they feel.
Yes.
And so sometimes it does have some similarity to it, but that's just the way I go about.
And I agree with you. The Lord exceeds expectations.
Exactly.
Like he did for you.
Exactly.
Can you take me back to your playing days a little bit? I talked to my dad. He said you were a bad man.
Yeah.
He said once you stepped over half court, you could pull it like Steph Curry.
Yeah, I was a great shooter, But like I said, my training, I was telling the guy the other day, my training is different where you guys train today. Guys train today, they got trainers and everything else.
Yeah.
I didn't train like that.
Okay.
I was a hustler. So I would go to parks and I would like say, hey man, I look at you where you play and I analyze you and I say, hey man, let's play for $10.
Yeah.
And you're like, really? I said, yeah. I said, but I'll give you 5, the game is 11. And you're like, okay, bet. And I'll give you 5, but the thing is, my goal was you would never touch the basketball.
Oh wow.
Because I would score every time. Gotcha. And so that was my training. So I had to play good defense, and so I couldn't miss on my shot, because if I missed, you had a chance to get the ball. Yeah. And then sometime, given situation, I play guys, I tell them I would bet more money. I bet $100, and I said I'll give you 10, and the game is 11.
Okay.
So
wow. And you would win those games.
I'll win some and I'll lose some, but it was about an 80% chance I would win games. And if I lost, then I'll go work on by myself. I'll work hard, so I'll never miss that shot again, or won't miss that layup again, or won't be lackadaisical at all. And so that's how I play. And so then, basically, that's how I train.
So you grew up different from the kids nowadays. You didn't have a trainer, but you still were able to make it to Division I.
Yeah.
What was the college days like? Was it different?
There was no difference. College days is, college days you hang with your teammates, you balling, you competing, it's competitive, you going hard, you working in the off season like you guys did, and you training, you're getting better and better. But like I said, like when I went to college, I probably didn't. Well, actually, I did. Even when I was a sports agent, when I wasn't playing basketball, some guys used to come up to me, and they say, "Oh man, I want to play in the NBA. Can you help me?" And I watched them play. Let me see you work out.
When you were in college?
No, after college. Yeah, I watched them play, and I'm like, "Oh man, you can't play in the NBA." He said, "What are you talking about?" I said, "You can't even beat me."
Yeah.
"Oh, I can beat you." I said, "Let's play one-on-one then." I said, "But I ain't playing one-on-one unless we play for $1,000.
Wow. And
the guy played me. I took his $1,000. Let's play again. I took another $1,000.
Hey.
Then he said, "Oh man, can you get my money back? I didn't know you can play like that."
Wow.
But I just took it back to where I grew up, where I was hustling like that. So I said, "Man, you can't play in the NBA, man. You can't even beat me, and I'm not pro, and I'm older than you."
Yeah,
yeah.
But did you think that you could have made it to the pros?
I could have made it to. I felt like, honestly, I should have made it to the pros. But the way my college career went, and then the way I grew up, I seen other guys that all they kept doing when I was growing up, they kept chasing the dream.
Okay.
And then I had put a 2-year limit on myself.
Gotcha.
So if I don't make it to the pros in 2 years.
Out of college or?
Out of college. Gotcha. I said, if I don't make it to the pros in 2 years, then I'm going to my plan B. I'm going to be my entrepreneur. I'm going to go ahead. And also, when I got out of college, I got married and I had a son. And so that really made me put on 2 years. And so I wasn't going to be like chasing the dream too much. I felt like I was going to go ahead. Other plans.
Other opportunities.
Yeah, because I had other goals. And so I did it for 2 years. And when Phil Jackson cut me, I was like, okay, that's enough. Let me go on to plan B.
Yeah.
And that's what I did.
It turned out pretty well.
Yeah, God blessings. Yeah, definitely.
And speaking about being an entrepreneur, so I read another book. It's called The 50th Law. It was written by 50 Cent and Robert Greene. So after Robert Greene's 48 Laws of Power, 50 Cent reached out to him and he said, "I loved your book." Because at this time, 50 Cent was in the music industry and he was realizing these power games that were being played in the music industry. All the owners were taking all the money from the artists, and they teamed up and they wrote a book together. And the main idea of the book is that people are afraid to be themselves. They want to. People grow up. They want to be Tobias Harris. They want to be Serena Williams. And there's a quote that stuck with me from this. I'll read it to you. It says, "When you work for others, you are at their mercy. They own your work. They own you. Your creative spirit is squashed. What keeps you in such positions is a fear of having to sink or swim on your own. Instead, you should have a greater fear of what will happen to you if you remain dependent on others for power. Your goal in every maneuver in life must be ownership. When it's yours to lose. You're more motivated, more creative, more alive. The ultimate power in life is to be completely self-reliant, completely yourself. My question to you is, what role did sports play in defining self-reliance to you?
Well, I was always confident, super confident, you know what I mean? So, me, I always knew that I would be successful as an entrepreneur. I always stepped out the box. I didn't really want to work. I mean, I did work for some companies, but kind of work. When I worked with that company, I was still independent on myself. I worked with insurance, learned how to be a financial planner, learned how to be a estate planner. You know, I learned how to set up wills, learned how to, and then I also learned how to be a sports agent when I worked with this financial planner, because they were involved in being a sports agent. So I learned about the science and the skills of negotiating contracts. And so I did that for 4 years before I decided, okay, it was 1994, so 1998, then I stepped out and I said, you know what? I feel like I'm ready to go and start my own business. Okay. And so in 1988, I started my own business, and my first client was George Iceman Gervin, because I did some financial planning for him. And then basically from that point on, it took off.
Wow. And so when talking about your playing days, I remember us being younger, me, Terry, and you would constantly get on him about being aggressive. I see a correlation between being aggressive in basketball and self-reliance. You gotta know your strength. You gotta go out there and score if you're a scorer. You know. Do you see the correlation between being aggressive in basketball and self-reliance in life?
Yeah, well, basketball, that's the greatest thing about sports that people love, because it's the same thing in sports, the same thing in the real world. You know, you got to go after what you want. So in sports, if you want to be the best, you got to be aggressive. You got to be confident in what you're trying to do and what you're trying to achieve. And so in the business world, you got to be the same way. You know, you got to hey, listen, nobody can stop me. I can conquer the world. That's the attitude you got to have. And it feels good when you can put your keys in your own office, and this is your office. So this is your enterprise, which you are building.
Yes.
And so you just got to be aggressive to make it happen, because your money's on the line. You're betting on yourself. And so therefore, if you're betting on yourself, you got to make it happen.
Yeah.
And then so you're going to have a lot of challenges. You know, I had a lot of challenges because I was trying to grow my business. I needed loans. Banks won't give you loans. They shut you down from loans. And you're like, wow, how am I going to make it happen? You still got to make it happen.
Yeah.
So when all the odds are against you, you got to be like, it's just like sports. You know, we're down fourth quarter. We're down 30 points. What are we going to do? We're going to roll over and let them beat us by 60, or we're gonna fight, or we're gonna be aggressive, we're gonna go hard. And so it's just like in business, when you get hit hard and you're down, and banks said, no, we can't give you a loan. They said, well, you gotta put your house up. Okay, well, you know what, I'm gonna take that risk because I know I'm gonna be successful. So you put your house up and you get the loan. So therefore now, if you don't perform, you're gonna lose your house.
Yeah.
So the pressure's on. So either you're gonna step up or you're not. It's just like in the fourth quarter. The great ones make it happen. They step up, and then guess what? You're down 31, but guess what? You won that game.
Yeah.
That's what it's about in life too.
That is true. I need to ask you about the Harris empire that you built. You have 6 children in total. 5 of them went on to play Division I basketball. I was looking at the stats earlier today, and it said the chances of going from senior year in high school to playing Division I basketball is less than 1%. I think you have the formula.
Yeah, well, I got the formula in a lot of different ways, but the main point of my formula is God. It's the trust and the belief in God. That's number one. And so then after that, everything falls into play. But I never really try to build a formula with raising my kids. I just try to be the best father I possibly can be. And then I actually just thought about it, well, hey man, I got to get these kids in college, so how am I going to do it? Because if I had to pay for it, I got to come up with $1,200,000 cash to pay for it. And at the time, I'm running a company, I'm trying to build my business. $1.2 million is a lot of money. So basically, my goal was just get my kids scholarships to college. And then by doing that and having faith in the Lord, He overachieved the expectations. Now they're pros.
Yes.
And what happens is, one thing about the Lord, He he loves when you take care of your kids and you down with your kids and you're like, and you believe that, hey, I believe I was going to get all scholarship for it. My oldest son, TJ, hey, he got an academic scholarship. He was a 4.0 student.
Wow.
So he didn't really have the desire to go on and play basketball in college. He was great in high school, and so that's fine. But the rest of the kids, they had that desire to keep going and play college basketball, and it all worked out. And now, like I said, once again, now they're pros, and that's just a beautiful thing. That just shows you that God is real, and God knows if you have faith and belief that you can achieve anything, and He'll take you to another level.
His grace.
Yes.
Was there a certain age that you started each of your children at?
Well, because we love basketball, they probably soon they was born, they had a basketball in their crib. You had to, they put the little hoop over the rim, they catch it, and they used to go and dunk it and everything else. So, it's kind of like that, ever since they were born, they had a hoop, they had a ball.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, and out of your 5 children that got basketball scholarships,
right,
who has consistently worked the hardest?
Well,
not just one summer.
No, consistently, to be honest with you, all of them work the hardest. Mm-hmm. All of them. So I really can't say they all got the same work ethic. They've been working hard all their lives. Mm-hmm. So from Tori, from Terry, from Tyler, to Tobias, and to Tasia. Mm-hmm. And even Tasia, she played pro ball in Slovakia. She played at St. John's, took the team to Sweet 16, mm-hmm. and now she's assistant coach at Winthrop College. And so she's still working hard.
Yeah.
And so they all work hard. So, they have that hard work, and then they have the faith and belief in the Lord. So that's the most important. As long as they got that, then they're going to achieve greatness in this world, mm-hmm. God willing.
One thing that I love about all your children is, mm-hmm. so Tobias made it to the top of the top.
Right.
One of the best players in the NBA.
Right.
Everyone else, all your other children, it seems like they don't care what he did. They're trying to carve their own lane. They want to be better than him.
Yeah, exactly.
Can you just talk about that a little bit?
Well, they all believe in themselves, mm-hmm. And that's the most important. So, Tobias, his path went that way where, he went from McDonald, All-American, New York State Player of the Year, and then, All-American in college and to the pros.
Yeah.
So then Tyler, he had he was recruited highly. He went to North Carolina State. They fired the first year coach, a new coach came in, mm-hmm. and wasn't one of his guys, and then Tyler transferred to Providence, and then he played well, won the Big East Championship, first time the school won a Big East Championship in 20 years, and then he decided that he wanted to play with Bruce Pearl because Bruce Pearl coached Tobias at Tennessee. So he went there. He had a great career there, and then his path went his way. And then Terry's New York Player of the Year in the conference, Player of the Year in Long Island, mm-hmm. and then he basically Terry kind of a little different because his main goal, he wanted to get in Providence. Not Providence, he wanted to get in Harvard.
Oh, wow.
And so he turned down a lot of scholarship offers, mm-hmm. and then he had to get his SATs at a certain point. By the time he got them, it was in March, and it was too late for Harvard. Mm-hmm. So he did get the SAT where he got 32 on the ACT, and so it was kind of too late at that point. So then he had to scramble for division. He didn't want to go to prep school, so then he picked HBU, and they really didn't know him. So he went to different trials and tribulations mm-hmm. with different colleges. But now he went to North Carolina A&T. He had a great year.
He was one of the top 3-point shooters in the country.
Exactly, he was one of the top. So Terry never wavered. He always kept work. He always kept confidence in himself, even though they had him playing power forward in college where he was a 2-guard. Yeah, so basically his path a little different. Now he had a great summer this summer, in the summer with the Philadelphia 76ers. He recently just came back from Tim Gershowitz, and he worked out with represent the Sixers in Vegas, and he did a great job. So it's just a matter of time for him get that opportunity that he's been doing. But the one thing, he's time to give Terry a lot of credit. He never wavered his faith. He kept working, and then when God sees that, he's going to be blessed.
Yes, God blesses what you prepare for.
Exactly.
That's one of exactly. So I read another book. It's titled Life as Sport. The author's name is Jonathan Fader. He's a sports psychologist. He works with the Mets and the Giants.
Right.
One quote from his book that I liked was, "If you can look at your life as a sport and yourself as an athlete at the center of this all-important game, you will be able to easily and effectively achieve the results you desire." My question is, how could you look at life as a sport?
Well, we have a saying, a phrase in our company is like, each of us is unique in the way we work and the way we play. We travel this path only once, with the intent of being good sports, leaving hope for the next generation for a better tomorrow. And that's how we come up with the concept unique sports generation. So we're all sports.
Yes.
Okay, so basically we're all sports trying to do the best we can in this life and giving hope to the next generation. So when we're building it up, so when we leave this world, we're giving hope to the next generation to be a better generation. Yeah. So that's how I would kind of categorize that, what they were saying.
Got you.
Yeah.
Do you watch First Take at all?
Sometime I do.
Sometimes?
Yeah.
I was watching it, I don't know if it was this past week, maybe 2 weeks ago, and I think they were in Philadelphia. It was Stephen A. Smith, Magic Johnson was there, Max Kellerman, and Molly was there. Right. And Stephen A. said that Philadelphia 76ers were going to the championship this year. Magic Johnson said, who's going to take over in the fourth? Because last year they had Jimmy Butler. And Stephen A. said, Tobias is going to have to step up. Magic Johnson said, it's not going to be him. What I want to ask you is, Tobias just turned 27 years old. In the NBA, your prime is from 27 to 29. Do you think Tobias's prime has just begun?
Oh yeah, without a doubt. Tobias, imagine, that's his opinion, what he feels, but a lot of people don't really know what the real Tobias is going to bring. I think the Clippers seen a glimpse of Tobias as he was really going to work out there and leading the Clippers on a charge. People don't realize that one time the Clipper was, like the top.
It was top
four.
In the West.
Exactly, one time. So, and that was all due to Tobias. And, Tobias has so much arsenal in his game. It's just a matter of having a coach just say, hey man, I need to turn you loose like Doc Rivers did.
Yes.
So Doc gave everybody, Tobias, just go to work, just do you.
On the right team, all he needed was that opportunity to really show, his talent.
Is he an all-star?
If the Clippers come out early and surprise people with wins, and it's Tobias that's leading them.
You talk about an all-star player, Tobias Harris should be mentioned.
Tobias Harris putting up career numbers. You can just see the confidence he's having.
And Tobias Harris is, up there one of the best forwards we've seen in the game all year long.
The legitimate star in this league is Tobias Harris. He continues to flourish.
Like if anybody knows Tobias, Tobias is not, he's from New York. I mean, he's a New York kid, played against the best players in New York.
Right?
Yeah, you're not going to come out of New York being New York State Player of the Year. He kicked everybody's butt. Yeah. So he got that pit bull in him. It's just a matter of like, hey, being with the team that they have this year and him just taking it off is just a mindset. But the thing about Tobias is he's a basketball player. He's a team player. Yep. He's all about winning. Now, you want him to get buckets, he'll get you any buckets you want. But the most important thing, he's not a selfish player, so he's going to get other his teammates involved because he plays the game the right way. Like Magic, he played the game the right way also. And so that's why they won a lot of championships. Magic wasn't the type of guy where he was the guy that takes over in the fourth quarter. He had other people. But if Magic was called upon, he would take over. And same thing with Tobias. He's called upon, he'll take over. So so that's why I say Tobias is going to be a great year. He's gonna really perform well, and that's one thing about our players that we represent for Unique Sports Generation and Unique Sports International is they work hard, they have a professionalism about themselves on and off the court, and that makes them special, and they're pit bulls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I remember, I think I was a freshman in high school. Tobias was a senior at Hills West, and it was a school night, and Hills West played against Bishop Loughlin, Javon Pinkston. Do you remember that game?
Yeah, I remember that.
I loved that game because it was like a Long Island school going on to face one of the city's top teams, and Tobias and them turned it out.
Yeah.
Do you remember that game?
Yeah, I do.
How was that experience for you?
I mean, it was a hype game. You know, at that particular year, we played all the top teams, Christ the King. We played the top team out of Philadelphia, Chester. We played all the top teams in the area. And it's just another game, you know. Javon was talking all this stuff, what he gonna do, you know, we just listened, you know. And at the end of the day, you know, we just went in there, crowd packed. It was packed, you know, just people in the rafters all over the place in that game. People outside couldn't get in that game.
Where were you sitting?
I was sitting right behind the bench.
Okay.
Yeah, but it was a game that, you know, Tobias just, once again, Tobias, he didn't go about this game. He never went about this game. It's about me and Javon Pinkston. He went about this game. This is Hills West against Bishop Loughlin. And at the end of the day, his goal is to win the game. He wasn't out there trying to outperform Javon Pinkston. He just wanted to win the game. And then there was a quote at the end of the game. A reporter said, "Hey, you know, you lost the game." Javon Pinkston said, "Hey man, we lost the game, but I had 26 points to Tobias 24 points."
Really?
And so we say, and then they asked Tobias, well, Javon saying he outscored you in the game, and Tobias, only one quote he made, who won the game?
Simple.
That's it.
Simple as that.
Yeah.
Okay, have you ever heard the quote, "Use sports, don't let sports use you"?
Yeah, I heard of that.
What would you say that means?
Well, that means a lot. That means like basketball can open a lot of doors. So go to college. You get a scholarship, make sure you go to college and get your degree.
Yes.
Don't let the school tells you to take a different degree and say, oh, you know, your accounting degree. Oh, that's a little tough. I don't know, you should take a PE degree. Don't let that happen. That's what they're talking about. You go out there and get your degree. And so, and then, you know, you go there. Now, if you get your degree and then unfortunately, if things work in your favor, if you get drafted in the NBA, you play. Okay, that's icing on the cake. So what we try to tell all our players, like even my own kids, like, hey, get your degree. Like Terry and Tyler, people don't know that they're pursuing basketball every day, but they have master's degrees.
Yeah.
Both of them got their master's degrees. So they're using sports to get their master's degree. Okay, and then sports is big because sports open up so much opportunity. You could be a general manager, you could be a scout, you could be a trainer, you could be a therapist trainer, you could be a coach.
And what I realize is employers, when they're looking out to hire people, if you play the sport, they love you because that shows that you know teamwork, you know,
right.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So
they know how to get along with people, you know how to communicate, you know how, you know, camaraderie, you know, you know how to do all that, yeah.
There's parents out there that don't allow their children to play sports, whether it be fear of injury or what have you. What are these parents robbing from their kids?
Well, I think sports is great. I think sports is a good way to communicate with kids, other children, be around different other people, understand about winning, understand about dedication, goal setting, determination. So they're missing a lot from not allowing their kids, even if their kids are not pros, you know, don't have to be pros, even if they're not college material, but they're missing the whole, you know, just being around other people and understanding different people. They're missing the traveling part, seeing the world, you know, like you said, you went over and to England. Yeah. You know, now if you didn't play basketball, you would have never experienced that situation. So sports is it just give you a variety, a bigger view of life. And if you get a scholarship to college, now you get to visit different states, you know, that you didn't know. You can go to Notre Dame, Indiana. You're going to different places. you're in Kentucky, you're in different areas, and you're meeting different, and you with other kids that's come from different backgrounds than you, different cities than you, and so it's just so then when you go into a job after your career in sports, and you can how to deal with all type of people.
Yes.
So that's important.
It's the relationships you form, like you said, where you get to go.
Exactly.
People that don't play sports are missing out on all these simple things that we sometimes take for granted.
Exactly.
So my final question for you. There was a show called Ball in the Family, LeVar Ball and them in Los Angeles. They have 3 Division I athletes. You have 5 Division I athletes. Have you ever considered a TV show?
No, I haven't considered a TV show. Nah. No, we just we just down to earth people. We just do what we do. We trying to all my kids, they got their own goals, and they're just striving to achieve their own goals. We're not really into all that unnecessary stuff. Be honest with you, I think with the Balls family doing the show, there's a lot of people say it's a good show. So I'm not gonna knock it. I'm not gonna knock it. It's just with our schedule and our family, we're just so busy because a lot of time we're training all the time. We're preparing to reach their goals, and basically that's what it is.
I hear you. No time right now.
Just really, honestly, don't.
All right, thank you for joining us today.
My pleasure.
If the people that are watching want to reach out and do business with you, where could they get in touch with you?
You just can go to just send an email to us to info@uniquesportsmanagement.com.
info@uniquesportsmanagement.com. All right, we'll put that in the notes as well. And thank you so much for joining us today.
My pleasure. Thanks. My pleasure.
Thank you.
Okay, appreciate you.